know when it's live, and I will
I
turn
will.
off my VPN.
I will.
It says you're live. I don't know if we actually
But
are.
there's a delay. There's always a delay.
Yes, there is a delay.
on
So
on
you
my
just let
end.
me know. I did come prepared today. Ish.
Ooh.
Came prepared-ish. It's live.
You're live. Oh, I gotta turn that off.
Okay, so I'm turning off my VPN. Wait, are you already a moderator? Yes, you are. Okay, so I'm turning off my VPN. I just can't see what's going on in the background on the like chats and stuff, likely.
Okay. So that, and I will keep an eye on those because that's
okay.
what I
How's
do.
my video and stuff doing over here? Is it any better?
It's looks great. It is broadcast ability.
Normal?
Quality. Yeah.
I couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. That's actually a problem. So if I like if I wanted to do it daily, like you're just gonna have to be there, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
So okay. Well, we'll take it one step at a time here and just try this. Well, not try the weekly. I've committed to it. It's in my calendar. It's happening. Okay.
Okay. It's in mine too.
Yes. Today is, so anybody watching this, I know this was like not planned. We didn't really schedule it until like a few hours ago. So nobody's actually watching right now, I'm sure. But if you're jumping on or you're watching the video later, we did decide finally to bump our live streams up to weekly instead of just on the new moons. We'll still have the new moon ones, you know, before or just after the new moon. But for the most part, we're going to be doing this now. Weekly, Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. Whatever that looks like for you, wherever you're at, anywhere in the world. Today is August 14th, 2024.
Yes.
In our major transit, despite what both ChatGPT and most YouTube videos out there will tell you, the moon is actually going into Leo right now. It has not been in Leo. Whoever told you it was in Leo lied to you or just doesn't know because they've never actually gone outside and looked up at the sky. So today, I have a list, so I made sure that I was on point today.
Good.
Today I am joined by Friar Pesel.
Hello
there. His contact information is in the video description before I forget.
Very cool.
Let me see. So a little bit of house cleaning here before we get into this. So today I am gonna go through, I'll do a weekly forecast. There's not a whole lot going on. I mean, you know, so like astrologically that we're not already aware of from the new moon forecast from before, but I will touch on some of this stuff. And then just a few things. I rebuilt my website from scratch because it was going to be easier than trying to wait for it to upload and then go fix all the bugs. So I just rebuilt it. Yes. That is SumerianAstrology.com. And I have all kinds of cool stuff on there. I'm looking at my notes. I have a Sumerian to English dictionary. I'm still building it out. There's like a lot to it. Sumerian language lessons also still being built out. I think I have like up to 15 posted right now. I'll just continue to do that over the next few weeks. Lots of astrology articles that will continue to be up there too. And while you're on there, you can subscribe to my rare but awesome newsletter. I think I've sent 4 maybe in the last 3 years. I'm gonna send a 5th one here soon.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. We do want guests for our live streams because why not, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, so let's get some of those. So I'm going to send out that newsletter. So basically what I do with the newsletter, I don't send out my articles and like, you know, hit people with all my content, my awesome content all the time. It's basically just for like free stuff. I need volunteers for like some free thing. So you definitely want to get on that. But when you do, you enter to win a 1-hour free ancient astrology reading, and it's your hour. We can cover any topic. You don't have to like pick natal or predictive or whatever. Like it's just a free for all, whatever you want. While you're there, you can subscribe to my Substack. Now that one you will get notified when the articles post. So if you're into that, you have that option. I also have, you can buy from my Etsy store. I usually have some sort of sale running. All these links are in the description, by the way. But if you buy a reading from my website, you get like a flat 30% off. So that's good. If you don't have any other cool promo codes, but if you do, let me know and I can send you like the updated invoice. And while you're there, you can take like 66-ish roundabout, right, % off my 15-hour ancient astrology course, which is amazing. It's a video course, if I didn't make that clear just now, which Friar can attest to. Okay.
I was in it.
Yes. So definitely check that out. And then again, obviously, there's a link to join the Sunday meditation support group where we do talk about meditation, usually how much we suck at it. But we also talk about others. Well, we do. And then we talk about other things too. It is a support group. more than anything, I would
It
say.
is.
And so like we tag team all kinds of problems and traumas and goofy stuff. So please join us on there. You're more than welcome. That is Sundays from 11 to 1 p.m. Eastern. And I think that's pretty much it. So do you have anything, Friar, before
I
we
do.
jump in here?
Well, I have a message for my UK friends who are trapped behind the beans on toast curtain. Get your one-time pads ready, okay?
Okay, was that it?
971 39715 39715.
Okay, I hope you had your one-time pads ready.
What was that? What
That's
was
it was a number station. The way they used to communicate back in the old days.
Oh, okay.
It's the
I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, well,
I had no
I
idea.
I brought some AV stuff for us. At least a little
Awesome.
excitement. Just a little excitement. All right,
Yeah.
that's what I have. So
Okay.
hello everyone.
Listen, I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna share my screen, walk
Okay.
myself through it
Okay.
for some mental support here on my own side. I need you to do me a huge favor when you get a minute. I need you to just check YouTube and just search astrology and see what comes up, okay? And we're gonna
Like
talk a little bit about some of the goofy stuff.
just the word astrology?
Yeah, just see what comes up, just what's trending,
I can do it.
on YouTube. All right. So are you seeing my screen? Am I up here?
I am. I
Fantastic.
see a dark field. Oh, now it's filled with
Yes.
terrifying
Yes.
visages of archetypes.
It sure
Help.
is. It sure
Help.
is.
Okay.
So, let me see here.
Oh, hey,
What?
I'll tell you like the autofill. I'll just tell you the autofill things that happened.
Okay.
Right? I've got astrology Spanish Armada.
Wait, I gotta write it down. Okay.
That's fine. This is just weird stuff.
Okay.
Astrology Spanish Armada. Astrology August month 2024. Astrology signs. Astrology app. And just a bunch of generic stuff. But when I do,
Okay.
I'm gonna do an actual search and see what comes up on the YouTubes.
Okay. Okay.
We got August 2024 special report. That's a very sincere looking old fellow. Aquarius full moon, astro chaos.
Okay, that's a good one. Aquarius full moon. Uh yeah. Okay. What did you say? What kind of chaos?
Astro chaos, which I think is the best
Astro
kind.
chaos. Okay, before we pick on this person, do they at least have a lot of views and like some subscribers and stuff?
33,000 views.
Okay, that'll do.
That's astrology with Heather.
Okay, so like Heather, love, nothing but love, and now gratitude
Love and
because
light.
you're giving us something to talk about, right? But we have to because you're coming up in the algorithms, and this is something that we're going to talk about. Anything? Well, give me a couple more. What else we got?
Okay, we got Joni Patrice. She's always gonna rank high, right?
Okay.
She's from Texas. She got a big old high hair.
Okay.
Election bombshell. Can Kamala Harris overcome 2024 hurdles?
Okay. That's it. Well, okay, sure.
Yeah. Oh, astrologer Joe says entering the chaos zone.
Does he say why?
No. He's just
Probably
got like
this full moon
well,
Aquarius thing.
he's got the world blowing up, so it sounds very
Oh
chaotic.
goodness.
Oh, here's a good
Oh
one.
goodness.
Blue Aquarius supermoon monster moon take cover.
Okay. This is beautiful. These people are great. This is
Yeah,
so
man.
great. All right. Well, so now we have some things to talk about. So while we're on here, we will definitely cover some of this. All right. So first of all, I don't know, and Friar, help me out with this too. Can you just do a quick Google search? When does the moons or the sun supposedly go into Leo? Do my dates for me. If you guys don't know, you're
Okay.
watching this. I have mild dyslexia, but when it comes to numbers, it's really bad. So my brain doesn't hold dates. Even after all these years, especially probably because having gone from tropical to sidereal astrology, like the actual dates, they all got mixed up and they're not anywhere near where most people think they are. So like my brain just like fuzzes out or starts putting random numbers in places. So I look at numbers on the spot. I don't even bother trying to hold those in my brain anymore. So,
Right. Well,
okay, go ahead. What does it say?
According to the well-known astrology site allure.com, Leo is July 23rd through August 22nd. But according to the other well-known astrology site, popsugar.com, it's July 22nd and ends on August 22nd.
Okay,
So,
that's perfect. That's beautiful. So let's take a look here. So right now, you guys, if you're watching this program is Stellarium. It is planetarium software, also called astronomy software. This is what astronomers use. It's a very well-known and well-used program. It's open source. Download it for free today, stellarium.org. You can see all of these things I'm showing you. As you can see, on July 22nd, the sun is nowhere near the constellation of Leo. It's
what?
just, yeah, I know. It's just now at this point, late July, entering Cancer, okay? So whoever's any astrologer, and we could talk a little bit about some of the rationale for why they think that this is still acceptable. This would be like me telling you, you guys, the sun rises right at midnight. It doesn't matter what astronomy says. Like we say, we're just all getting together and we're saying that the sun rises at midnight. Not only that, but winter time in the Northern Hemisphere comes right around like July 1st. Like that's when the first snow falls, okay? And if this sounds really stupid, that's because it is, right? It makes no sense at all.
No.
I'm gonna tackle this here in a second. So basically, here's what's going on.
Okay.
Leo, let me back up. As you can see, it's hitting this midpoint between these constellations. And I don't get super fixed on the actual date because the original constellations probably didn't have these exact boundaries anyway. So we're just looking at general portions of the sky so we can still have a pretty good idea. But as you can see over here, hopefully you can see it. My little window's not going to be in the way. Okay, good. August 11th is right when we're in this midpoint, which was just a few days ago. And today on the 14th, it's just now starting to enter Leo. So tropical astrology, you guys, it sucks and you got to quit using it. I don't care. I'm not saying you have to come to me for all of your astrology needs, although that would not be bad.
And I would encourage that.
Yeah, thank you. Vedic astrologers all use the literal placement, sidereal astrology. There's plenty of Western classical astrologers that now use the sidereal zodiac, which is the literal placement, which is this right here. So you guys got to be doing that, please.
Yeah. Wait. What am I supposed to do with this giant Aries tattoo that I have on my arm?
Either you, well, it depends. There is like a 7-degree on, you know, either side of overlap where you might be okay. You might not have to get your tattoos removed. But
Not in my case. It's because it's different in sidereal. It's Pisces.
You're in the Aries cult. You can't get out of it. They're gonna, you're like in a gang.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know what to do for you. You're in trouble.
I don't have a tattoo.
Well, that's, you know.
That was just my example of you know.
If I suspect if you did have an Aries tattoo, you would not be watching this video. You would not be on this call. You would hate me because I would not be here to validate your life choices. And that's really hard for a lot of people. I'm actually going to read some of my YouTube comments here shortly.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
Yes, so that people can see what it's like to experience, not like from my side, but
Sure.
cognitive dissonance, like that's a real thing. Yeah. Okay. So
right.
for this week, so what's this we're gonna do Wednesday to Wednesday because that's what we are usually doing, or at least we're gonna be doing here now. So that's gonna run us what, to like the 20th? Let's go to the 20th. Basically, while the sun is in Leo, and this has to be a very general forecast because I mean there's 8 billion people on the planet last time I checked, and so you know it affects everybody differently depending on your personal individual natal chart. And so also factor that in, right? But while the sun is in Leo, this is Inanna Ishtar, the lioness of heaven. She was concentrated right here in Regulus. Later in Babylon, we have some Marduk associations with Jupiter, but we also have Nergal associations. He was often depicted with a lion's head or a lion-headed mace. Sometimes he had like long, shaggy mane with some lion's claws and whatnot. So we have this dual feminine, masculine archetype here. They're both very sensitive, very emotional, very we'll err more on the masculine side, even Inanna Ishtar in her like, even though she's a female, she's still like, this is more of her aggressive warlike traits, although she's not going out seeking battle in this sense. But she's definitely gonna, if you start something, she's gonna finish it. Now, keep in mind, this is in the Northern Hemisphere, this is the middle of summer or like late summer. And in the Southern Hemisphere, this is winter. So you can't just take your seasonal associations and plaster them onto all of the constellations. I mean, that was a good way to do it a long time ago, but it doesn't necessarily apply when we're looking at it from like a global situation. Either way, like I said, very sensitive. Venus in here, well, not just in here, but just the feminine version of Leo, which I think she's much more feminine than just the masculine Nergal. But even Nergal, he felt fear. He was easily manipulated. He had quite the ego, but he was also an unmatched warrior, hyper masculine. In later time, so early on in Mesopotamia, if you read Inanna's myths, she was much more of a vegetation goddess, and she was a lot softer and maybe maternal, but youthful, feminine. As time went on,
question in the chat.
Yeah.
The question is from Astro Shamaran. She's wearing a beard, is the question.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes Venus wears a beard. In here, she probably does when she's near the Pleiades. She usually does. So, or she's said to. And that's a Babylonian thing. And that kind of goes back to, she has it in her to, be kind of feisty. Now, her presence here she's embodied in the planet Venus. So her presence here definitely heightens some of Leo's more feminine energy. It is still going to be very sensitive, probably more emotionally sensitive as opposed to physically sensitive, which is what we tend to see when we have Mars here, which Mars was the embodiment of Nergal, the god of war, death, and pestilence, and the underworld, and the one who I said was very easy to manipulate and very sensitive. So this can be a very fun time, a time of a lot of love and joy and pleasure and, just, having fun, feeling alive, right? But it can also be, Venus has love, can be, there's two sides of that spectrum, right? There's deep despair, there's rage at times, and, it can go multiple ways. Don't just think like it's all just about pleasure. Again, 8 billion people on the planet. We're not all going to be in a great mood on the exact same day. Now, the good thing is, the sun is also moving into Leo with Venus. So the moon, why do I keep saying the moon? Probably because the moon was seen as their father. But Venus and the sun were twins. And the sun Utu, or Shamash, as he was called in Babylon, was always trying to talk his sister off the ledge. He helped her pick out a husband. She wanted to choose the the farmer, but he said, no, you got to choose the shepherd, Demuzid, like he's definitely the way to go. He took her into the precursor to the Garden of Eden, so she could eat of the fruit tree that would give her all of the knowledge of intercourse. So, he was always giving her presents and like doing cool stuff.
Man, that sounds really familiar. I don't know.
It does, doesn't this? Is that crazy? It sounds so familiar.
And also the what was it, the farmer and the shepherd?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds familiar too, actually.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I believe Cain, he was the farmer and he got the short end of that stick too.
He did.
He
said, I don't want your stupid fruit.
I heard, I don't want to get sidetracked, but
I'm sorry.
No. That reminds me, I heard an ad came out because now I have to watch YouTube with a VPN, which sucks. So now we see ads. Before I didn't have any because they stopped running ads in Russia. But I'm like doing something. I was like washing dishes or something. I couldn't just go and stop my phone and like skip the ad. And it's Jordan Peterson, and he's talking about the Bible and like all these these biblical stories and like how, like the Bible is still a part, like it's this lasting part of of, Western civilizations, which it is, I can't argue, but I'm just over here screaming, like he's talking about these stories. And I'm like, oh, you don't understand. Like that comes from Mesopotamia, like all these stories he's mentioning, they're not Jewish stories. They go all the way back like thousands of years. So
Right.
yes, sometimes the struggle is real. Okay, what was I talking about? Yeah, so the sun's going to come in and he is going to temper some of this Venus energy and make it so that she's not just running wild with whatever emotion, whether that's like, pure love or despair or rage or whatever she's doing on any given day. We're still probably going to increase all of us will have like stronger empathic ability. We'll all probably be a little sensitive while this is happening. And how long is this going to go for? Let's see. Venus is going to move out by next week. So we'll have a whole new thing to talk about with Venus next week. The sun's going to be conjunct with Regulus right at that time. So that's probably a good thing too. We're gonna, like I said, the sun overpowers everything. This is basically like having a Sun-Venus conjunction,
Okay.
which is again, the wise solar twin is going to keep the wild feminine. They were very afraid of the feminine back then. They respected it, but they did not want to mess around because,
Right. I have a question.
Yes.
What is the significance of a planet conjoining the sun? Because I hear lots of different ways to express that, like in Western esotericism, you might say it's combust, meaning that like the virtues of Venus sort of disappear, or I think Crassi Atasio and Rumen Kolev have a different way of expressing that, like the Venus disappears and then reappears. So in this system, what does it really mean when the sun and a planet are conjunct?
The sun's going to overpower everything.
Okay.
So the farther out, you still get an intensity of the traits. A good example is Mercury in the sun. So Mercury's it's always really close to the sun.
Right.
When they are together, so Mercury by itself is very cognitive. I'm just going to summarize generally. Okay.
All right.
When the sun is close to Mercury, the sun kind of takes on more cognitive traits. When they are very far apart, the cognitive aspect, the person's mind is like its own thing. And it can be really hard to, like that person's almost ridiculously logical, which is, over analytical, like too obsessed on learning and the academic stuff. Like it's just can be too much. So the sun's going to temper that, but it's also going to take on some of those traits still, but in a much more positive way, I would say. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, what are we doing? We're going back to today, the 14th. And let's see what else is going on. Let's just run through the ecliptic here. As you can see, the moon is nowhere near Aquarius at this point. Let's see, what are we looking at? As you can see, I'm zooming in because my moon works now.
Yay. Oh, and I can see it. It looks like a moon too.
Yes, and it's almost full.
Ooh.
And if you can't tell, it's gonna be full way before it gets to Aquarius. Aquarius is way out there. It's nowhere near it, okay? So right now, while the sun is in Scorpio, it probably, we didn't talk about because we're backdating some of this, obviously.
Okay.
But let me see. Going back. So what is that? Still today around 7 o'clock Egyptian Standard Time. We had this beautiful conjunction with the moon and Antares. Was it occult? It was. So this is going to really help you with any toxicity in your relationships. It should really kind of like put a damper on that for a little while, which is good, but it's very temporary. The moon's just rocking through the ecliptic, like it's moving really, really fast. So let me actually zoom out here. So today, should I push play? Maybe we can, no, it doesn't really matter. While it's in Scorpio, which is almost out of Scorpio, it's going to, it's very creative. It heightens creativity, but things can be, it forces healing. That's the best way to put it. Like lance the wounds and deal with the stuff. So it can be aggressive in that sense, but the moon makes that easier, and it makes it like easier to heal from injuries and whatnot. So Scorpio, this entire Scorpion was very much related to medicine, and we see that overlap when we talk about Ophiuchus, which we're not
Yes.
going to do too much today. But tomorrow, obviously, we have the moon beautifully, perfectly conjunct with the galactic center. That's going to increase everyone's intuition. You're probably going to have to pay attention to it. Like if you're just going through your day, you may not notice, because again, this is a very fast transit. And anybody who's doing horoscopes based on like the position of the sun, I mean, you're really doing yourself a disservice. Like it moves so slowly compared to the moon. Like
Right.
it's so general and just not really, I don't know, it's not really interesting. But if you want to like track things on a hour to hour basis, like definitely look at the moon. Then it's going to go into Sagittarius on the 16th. This is going to benefit anybody who's working. Okay. Anybody, you're on a mission, you got a job, you got to focus, you're making money, you're working your business, or, you know, even if you just have some projects that you're trying to finish, this is definitely going to help you. This is Sagittarius is the sign of success. Without going into all of the mythology, it is related to Ninurta. Well, it's an aspect of Ninurta, who was a god of just basically being awesome at everything that he did. On to the 18th and a little bit, probably like midnight-ish. Before that, we're going to go into Capricorn. We're still working hard. Now, not because there's any association with, or at least an obvious one, with Saturn, and any negative traits of Saturn being superimposed onto Capricorn. This was Tashmetu. She is a goddess of healing and medicine and being selfless and nurturing. Capricorn is the most selfless and nurturing of all of the constellations. So anybody who says otherwise, again, is just very unaware of what's going on. Now, there's downsides to every constellation, every planet, every constellation, every conjunction, every aspect, whatever. There's good and bad in everything. We don't have to go into all of it. Just know that this is still a really good time to maybe work on some stuff. But I would say take this to a more, this should probably, if you want to get the most out of this, like be a little bit more emotional, maybe put more work and energy into your loved ones and your family and whatnot. And then we don't get into, hold on. Why am I now on the 21st? And I am looking at the moon in our full moon. Hold on. What was I thinking? I'm looking at my numbers wrong. I thought we were in July. Okay, so this was not the 7 that I thought we were looking at. Okay, let me back up. All right. So, just so you guys know, I worked out really hard today. My brain's on meltdown, and I was not prepared for our live stream anyways. But
good for you for working out.
Thanks. I appreciate that. My body doesn't maybe appreciate it quite as much. All right, so let me back up. Let me go to Aquarius. Why did I think we were in July already? Okay, I'll just let it go. I'm letting it go, you guys. First of all, Aquarius is frigging awesome. Okay, like there is nothing negative in here. I wish I could jump between screens to show you like some of these images that I have. I do have them in my course. If you really cared at some point, I could probably dig them out, right? But basically what's going on was there was some erroneous associations made between, because I think in classical, help me, because again, my brain is on meltdown.
Okay.
But both Capricorn and Aquarius got Saturn. And at that time, I don't even really think in classical terms, they were thinking of Saturn as being something negative. Okay. Because again, all the planets have positives and negatives, right? So
Yes.
there is, I'm like trying not to go into all of the mythology of Saturn. Saturn
Also,
really didn't become like the Lord of the Rings and associated with Satan and all of that like weird, wacky, negative stuff until medieval times. Maybe a little bit before that. Okay. Like really, it's a very recent invention. So even in Rome, so in Rome, Saturn, the god Saturn, was basically the equivalent of Father Christmas. Okay, so on Saturnalia, I know you guys have heard of
Yes.
Saturnalia, right?
Yes.
This was a time of drunken merrymaking and just like general awesomeness, and like everybody was having fun. Okay.
Now I'm going to throw a theoretical wrench in here, just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we shall die.
Yeah, probably.
Is that a thing associated
Maybe.
with this?
Possibly. Well, I can't say for sure, like the quote, but I would have. It's basically along the same lines.
Okay.
He did have, so Saturn did have an association with time. From that they extrapolated, someone did inevitability, but it really wasn't, it wasn't like he didn't get the Grim Reaper associations until for real medieval times. It's a very, very recent thing. His counterpart in Greece was Cronus. Yes. And he too, obviously, Cronus, chronology and chrono and everything, all relates to time as well. But he was I believe he was Uranus's father. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So
And he was hungry. He was very hungry.
Yes, but he ruled over the golden age. Like he was awesome. During like his reign, nobody got sick, nobody died. It was they talked about it like it was basically the Garden of Eden. It was this eternal springtime. And it wasn't until later that again he got more associations with I don't even think they had any associations really with death, but he's basically overthrown just like they all are, right, at some point. And some point some incarnation of Marduk is gonna overthrow whoever's and they're gonna become the yeah. So that happened with Zeus. Like he eventually took over eventually
from Sheriff Utu.
Yes. So or no, Enlil in Mesopotamia. So Jupiter. Yeah, so Jupiter was Zeus in Greece and Marduk in Babylon, but prior to that he was Enlil in Sumer. Okay. So I had a point. My point was, so all of this negativity around like death and restriction and being like this really aggressively angry old man energy that they put onto Saturn. And then they took that and they put that on, what's the word? Restriction. That's the one you, Nikki, are always talking about. Yes, restriction.
As opposed to expansion.
Yes, that's right. They put all this negative stuff onto Saturn. So then when they applied this randomly, they just picked, okay? They just were like, we're going to, do it this way. There was no reason to do it. They put Capricorn and Aquarius, they lined them up with Saturn. They're like, okay, this is now the planetary ruler. So that took on all the old man restriction, death, whatever goofy extrapolations they came up with over thousands of, the last couple thousand years. They just put them onto Capricorn. And Aquarius. But this, as I said, was Tashmetu. She was like just love and nurturing and all wonderful things. As a matter of fact, this fish over here was related to the fish of Pisces, which they were also Nanshe and Anundatum over here. They were just goddesses of love and joy and beauty and like wonderful, wonderful things, right? Same thing with Enki, who this figure depicts. He was the god of wisdom and all the like wonderful things about civilization, technology, innovation, creation. Now, if there's anything negative we can get, I mean, he was the figure in the pre-biblical Noah flood thing.
Yes.
He was the figure who determined, or he told the Noah figure, like, hey, the gods have decided to destroy you. You got to build this boat. This is how you do it. And so he's very benevolent. And as a matter of fact, the oldest creation myth that we have on planet Earth comes from Sumer, and it describes Enki creating human beings. Maybe may or may not be in a lab. It's hard to say. But so he's like this awesome creative force. Now, if there's anything negative that comes with Enki in particular, he does have a very, what we call that, very high libido. Yes, he was impregnating all of his granddaughters and great-granddaughters and pretty much all the pretty girls that were coming along. And again, another version of the Garden of Eden. There weren't a lot of them to choose from. All right. So like, but his consort eventually gets mad and poisons him with some plants that she grows. And so only she's allowed to heal him. And basically what's going on here, it's just this allegory demonstrating that too much creative power improperly channeled can definitely become destructive, which we can see that in any aspect. I'm like, look around, okay? Look at society. That's definitely a thing. So there's all of this. What did you say? You said Aquarius, full moon, astro chaos. No.
Yes.
No.
Astro chaos.
Yes. None of it. None of it. I don't know where I was thinking. You guys, I don't know where I was thinking the full moon was this month. I definitely need, some days I think I do need caffeine, even though. I still have my days. I'm still not at 100%, I think.
Your audience may not realize that you have quit caffeine.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And also everything I learned about Enki and Enlil was from ancient astronomers or whatever it is on Discovery,
Oh, Ancient Astronauts?
Ancient Astronaut. Yes, that's the show that
Yeah.
I clearly watched so much.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
show.
they probably were. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I'm guessing. I have like a whole theory about what's going on there.
Okay. By the way, if when you're done with what you want to say, there are a couple of things in the chat.
Yeah, tell me about them. I can't see it because if I try to bring it up, it's going to be frozen. Remember?
All right,
we had that conversation because of my
right.
VPN.
I'm the chat man then. So Brew, I'm going to say Nis Crucifix or Null's Crucifix has said, Christians and scholars say that is a way of preserving the previous religions. Some argue that we shouldn't say the Bible stole that history.
That we shouldn't say the Bible what?
Stole that history.
Well, but it did though. Like, and I don't mean that if they gave the Mesopotamians credit, fine, fantastic, because all of human history, I mean, we're just recycling this. It wasn't guaranteed the Mesopotamians. This is not their beliefs, their gods, their cultures. Like they inherited this from someone that came before them. We just don't know because that's the only writing that we found. There is evidence that there's writing on the structures that go back to Tepe, although it's scant,
Yes.
But that's the problem is I don't have any, like, take the stories, use them, whatever, but credit the original author. I think that would be honest, because when you don't, what you end up doing is you reinforce the supremacy of your one God and all of your rules and your culture that evolved from that, and at the exclusion of everything else that came before it. And I think that's very dangerous. So that's why it's frustrating for me, and partially too, like once you see the stuff, you can't unsee it.
You cannot unsee it at all.
Yeah, like once you see, well, first of all, I've yet to meet a single Christian, like just a regular off the street Christian, who's ever actually read the Bible. Most of those Christians end up at the very least converting to Judaism. Many more are just totally done with religion altogether. Now, I don't have, just for the record, I love Christians. I love pretty much everybody. I can't really think anybody that I don't love. I respect, like, okay, so I know I'm like totally derailing over here.
No, it's fine. It's good.
Christianity as a, like, if we look at Christ as a guru who has good ideas, and we want to like follow those ideas because they're, he's got good ones or whatever. I think that's awesome. It's, like there's some worse gurus out there to follow. Okay.
There are. Some are well known.
That's right. Like Sadhguru or somebody, like
he's very sad.
Yeah, no. So,
his wife
like
is unavailable for comment.
Yeah. Like I respect that. But at the same time, when Christians start cherry picking the Bible, and they're like, oh, homosexuality bad, but bacon is somehow okay. You guys didn't read the Bible, okay? If it's either all 100% real and that's what we're gonna run with, that's all fine. But then, like, no tattoos, no bacon. You better get a flock of sheep or source some local sheep herd, person, some shepherd or whatever they call them in modern terms. Because you're going to be sacrificing some sheep a lot. You're going to be, because, like you just are. That's a part of the deal.
And don't be mixing your linen and your wool. There's
so many things. Don't touch your wife. You got like a 2-week period where you can't be anywhere near her, So like, that's what I'm saying. That's where my frustration comes in. I mean, I have a literal approach to things. I recognize. So again, my problem is not with any religion really. It's more just like, let's be honest about it. If that helps. I don't know if that helps. What other questions? Does that answer the question? What other question?
I think it wasn't a question so much as a statement. But
okay.
there is in fact a question.
Okay.
What do you think about alcohol? I've heard it's wrongly seen as evil.
I don't know what that is offhand.
Algol the star, the one in, the
No, hold on, my brain, you guys, stand by.
it's
I
okay.
need
You're
Google's help. Okay, hold on. Let me see. What am I looking at? Spell it for me.
Algol, the demon star.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you guys are using like I gotcha. Okay. So I'm not familiar with like like I know the star names. I don't know like their, like you have like your designated like Beta Persei
Right,
is
right.
colloquial. So the colloquial versions, I guess I don't know them. Is that what is that what we're calling it in like, um, I don't know. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see over here.
It's the
Let
one
me
that's
search for
related
it.
to the Gorgon Medusa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's because of you guys know I don't get into the Greek stuff that much. Okay.
I
Let's see
know.
here. They have like, but for the record, like the Greek mythology is really cool. I wish classical astrology used the Greek mythology. That would be great. They don't use any mythology for the most part. I mean, there's probably scraps of it, but um,
Also, while you're looking, I'll just say I don't delete things in the chat unless they're just super gnarly. So I'm
oh,
sorry.
okay.
I'm
Did you
sorry
delete
that
something?
I did not, in fact, delete
Oh,
anything.
okay. Okay.
But I was accused of deleting, and I did not. I promise.
Um,
If you know me, you know I'm really
Someone
tolerant.
accused you of deleting something already? How
Well,
many people are
yeah.
in the chat that they're gonna accuse you of anything?
Well, so I think what happened was YouTube snagged it because YouTube is not
Yes,
as tolerant as I am.
yeah, they're going like hardcore. So yeah, 100%. And I'm like what would we call that? A free speech absolutist.
Same. Unless you're
Like
being like if you're being a shithead,
no, I
like
don't care.
and
No.
spamming, well, for me as a moderator,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying.
you know,
Yeah, I don't care. I whatever horrible things anybody wants to say, I'm here for it. Um, but YouTube is not. YouTube won't
no.
probably, they'll catch that stuff. I don't have any commentary on this at this point because again, the individual start. So like I work with all the Sumerian Babylonian versions. We don't know exactly all these outside stars. Like we can take a guess as to which star was what. But there's so much debate in them that we normally would work with like the general constellations in the area. All of these constellations over here have a lot of overlap with creativity. I'm not gonna like the dominant energy over here by Triangulum and Aries and Andromeda. It's all gonna be this feminine creative goddess energy. Now I can tell you as it relates to Medusa and the the slaying of the Gorgon monsters and everything,
Right.
there's some definite it goes back to that fear of feminine energy, like divine feminine energy. Someone's ringing my doorbell. Stand by.
All right. I will talk about Algol just a bit. Algol is a bright multiple star in the constellation of Perseus or Perseus. It's also known as the demon star and the winking eye of Medusa. And one of the things it does, I know that people pay attention to this, like the different, like the color of Algol matters, and the brightness matters for folks who are doing some serious like astrotheurgy stuff. For timing of certain rituals, you want your Algol to be looking a certain way. So those are some of the things I know about Algol, but it is in the constellation of Perseus near Taurus, and represents the head of the Gorgon Medusa.
Yes. So I don't know anything that you just said, but I'll assume it was probably true because I just expect that it was. But going back to what I was saying, there were a lot of these myths, and this relates. So the whole myth of Perseus slaying this female, the snake related female, goes back to the Babylonian myth of Marduk slaying Tiamat, who was depicted as a giant serpent or dragon, depending on how you want to translate that. Down here in Ketis, obviously Ketis is another Greek version of this, this watery serpent creature. Tiamat was also the embodiment of the seas, which they were terrified of. Also, I mean, they had boats and stuff, but they were still like freaked out. And
Right.
this is again this young male hero slaying this terrifying female related to reptiles and snakes and whatnot. And that's
Nope.
exactly what happened in the story of the Babylonian story of creation or myth of creation, where Marduk has to slay, or they tell him to slay Tiamat. So
There is a question about Tiamat.
yes,
Does Tiamat have an effect or connection to the divine feminine?
absolutely. 100%.
That's
This
from
is
Double J.
Yes, this is the original divine feminine. This is the first one. Okay. So this was Tiamat and her consort Absu, whose name is the same word for the primordial freshwater abyss that the Mesopotamians believed was like under the earth. They kind of mated via coalescing. They were the primordial stuff of the cosmos, the first masculine and feminine energies that kind of just coalesced, creating the planetary bodies. And it really sounds like not necessarily accretion like the planets and stuff, but if you look at the cosmos like this primordial soup, whether it's
Okay.
they're forming on the electrical currents or whatever is going on out there. These suns and stars and planets are all kind of taking shape because of their interaction. She's very much I try to find overlapping, meaning in various cultures and stuff. One of the easiest ones to explain is the dual nature of Devi in Hinduism. So we
Yes.
have, so we have like so in the story, so like we have both the beautiful Gauri, so the aspect of Durga or Shakti. We have like the beautiful Gauri who's just young and feminine and fertile and everything. And then her, not it's still they're all the same person,
Right.
the aspect of Kali, who is, I mean, horrifying by most people's standards, right? Terrifying, especially again to men. So like they're the same person and they have this different nature, but Kali is this another unmatched warrior, right? We see, so in the myth of Tiamat, it starts out, it's definitely, you can tell a few different stories kind of put on top of each other. The initial part of the story describes Kedis. Her husband wants to kill their descendants because they're making too much noise. So it wasn't because, oh, they're wicked and stuff. The
No.
same thing happened in the flood myth. The people were just making too much noise and the gods couldn't sleep. It wasn't because they were wicked or whatever. That came later. That was like the Jewish version. And Tiamat is appalled. These are our children. How could you want to kill what we've created? Like, no, I won't help you do this. And so she's like, no. Well, then they need a plot. Somebody's got to push the plot forward. And there's this suddenly Marduk, who is the supreme deity in Babylon, comes on the scene. Okay. And they're like, oh, he's so handsome and heroic, very much the Perseus figure, right?
Yeah.
And so
Jesus
they're like,
Elvis.
well,
Yeah.
now you have to go kill Tiamat because she's raising this army, but she wasn't raising the army until they needed a plot shift.
Yeah.
But even then, when Marduk goes to face her, he's actually kind of like, everyone went to face her. Everybody, Anu tries to stop her, like all these, Enki tries to stop her. All of them are like, we can't, there's nothing we can do. She's like so terrifying. And so they needed Marduk to come in and save the day, which he does. Like, of course. And then the whole rest of the story is just all of these, just all the names of Marduk, and he's so glorious. And it's just like, it's clearly just, they took the old story and put the new Babylonian spin on it to.
Although I will say this, that there could be a magical formula hidden in there, because when you do an invocation, one of the parts of that is to like list all the virtues and
Yes.
the things that they do, like the leelas, the pastimes, and like, oh, oh Tiamat, you of the heavens who mightily encircles, you go through this big litany in order to
Yeah,
invoke
absolutely. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they probably did. But it would have been lengthy because, like, for real, the whole last third, if not 2/4 of the story is all just how awesome he is and
They
all
had
of his
time.
awesome names. Yeah, they did.
I'll
So
be
I don't
right
know
back.
how, I don't know how we got, oh, because we were talking about said star. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
So
be right
going,
back.
I think what I wanted to, if I can like piggyback on that or just make the final point was that,
Yeah.
any of this evil demon stuff that might be coming out of Perseus related to the Gorgon monster, you know, like I would say is a throwback to this fear of Tiamat in Mesopotamia, the fear of the divine feminine, and just not knowing what to do with it. Does that help? Is that helpful for anyone? Friar, did I lose you? Uh-oh. I don't know. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Stand by, you guys. I don't want to crash my video card, and I can't see my other thing here. Stop the share. Okay, I'm walking myself through it. Let me see. Stop the share. No, he's still here, but it says he's muted and his video's on. So I'm assuming everything is still working just fine. So let me pop back on here. Maybe he got a phone call or something. Okay. Hopefully when he comes back, he will read the chat for me too, because I don't know what's going on in there. Let me see. So we talked about that. Did we talk about, yeah, so Mars and Jupiter are beautifully, perfectly conjunct right now. So Jupiter was Marduk in Babylon, and because just like they believed he was the best at everything, he was the supreme. As a matter of fact, the whole like El/Yahweh being like the supreme god of creation, that came directly from the Babylonian Marduk supremacy thing. So prior to that, I didn't mean to go on like a whole origins of Judaism and whatnot and Christianity, but so do we want to have that conversation right now?
Right now, maybe not. I don't know.
Well, Jupiter and Mars are conjunct, so it might be
Expansion.
Maybe, yes. So basically Jupiter they believed he was like awesome at everything. And he was, because prior to Babylon, Jupiter was in Leo and he was also awesome at everything. So we can still get some of the awesome traits, but basically when you read the Babylonian Omnilore, anything Jupiter touches is like benefited. It's not expanded. That is some sort of, I'm going to say silly, recent something, you know, like even maybe modern. I don't know how modern it is. Maybe at the minimum medieval, but it's not like, no.
Sometimes people just hook on to a word, like that's their anchor word for the thing. And I think that's what happened.
Okay.
You know, in the game of YouTube or internet astrologers who are usually all echoing each other, you know, it's like a game of telephone.
I got you. Okay. So but Jupiter basically counterbalances. It's kind of like having the sun in there. It's the same thing we talked about earlier. It's going to counteract some of any of the negative traits that might show up, even though like none of the planets are inherently positive or negative. They're just like people. They have their good days and bad days, right? This is an extremely, if you're trying to have babies, try today. You know, if like, you know, you can, if that's within the window. Yes, because this is a strong fertility placement. For a number of reasons here in the Hyades, but both of these together, they're both very creative, very masculine. I would say Mars is a little bit more latent creativity and fertility, whereas Jupiter is going to kind of pull it out and like make it happen. So that's definitely, you know, if you're trying to procreate, that's definitely good. If you're trying to create in other ways, also definitely a plus. Now we should be getting these. Yeah, we'll probably get this most of the week. We'll still have a lot of this, but obviously today it's going to be a little bit better. The Hyades themselves were related to creativity, and so that's good too, which the Hyades are over here, you guys, if you didn't know. And then what else were we looking at? Let's go back to the 14.
Chaos.
I
don't see chaos.
Saturn's still hanging out here, moving back and forth, you know, retrograde periodically between Pisces and Aquarius, mainly in Pisces. Again, this is all the Enki energy. So civilization, technology, innovation, communication, wisdom, knowledge, all that stuff. When it relates to Saturn, which was Ninurta, this is success. Okay. And it's very much success, especially if you have a career in these areas. This is your time. Now, if you are failing in your career, or it seems like the career stuff's not working out so well, or you're struggling there, Don't blame the planet. There's probably tweaks that you could make. You might not be on the right path. Okay, there may be some things that you have to make some adjustments for.
How would you
Okay,
know that? How would you know that?
oh, you should take a look at your natal chart. That'll definitely tell you
Oh, that's a great
which
idea.
way to go. Yeah, it is. Do we have any other comments or chats?
We have a
Or-
question. We're
Yeah, yeah.
we're going backwards a little bit. That's okay.
Okay.
It says, so Marduk was El Yahweh, not Enlil? Question mark.
Well, yes, they were okay. All right, so back up. So as far as we know, all the way back to the oldest writing that we have, the oldest record that we have, Enlil, who's the Sumerian deity, was embodied in Jupiter. As the Babylonian, and even in Mesopotamia, that was a process of evolution. As time went on, you know, we have the Akkadian period, Babylonian period, Assyrian period. By the time the Babylonians really were running the region, it became Marduk. In Sumerian times, Marduk was like, he was there, he was around, but he wasn't like that big of a deal. So, but what happened was, let's see, this was the conversation. I was like, do I want to go down this road? Do we have to? All right. The Israelites were pagans. They had a whole big pantheon of, yes, they had a whole big pantheon of gods. So you hear about like, you know, sacrificing babies to Molech, like that. Molech is a, like that was one of, yeah.
Right.
Well, yes, but, and there's still some debate here, but basically like the Israelites and the Canaanites, they kind of, you know, just,
yeah,
you know, they melded together and it's all this like big mixture here. But they had a lot of they shared the same deity, just like the Sumerians and Babylonians shared the same deities. They maybe called them different names, but they're basically the same. So like the Israelites started out with El, who was like a father god. Okay, just they all had him, whether it's Zeus or it's Enlil or it's you know, Anu, whoever it is. El had a son called Yahweh, who was basically a storm god.
Yes.
If you, depending on like the versions of the Bible you're reading, but if you read like Torah, and like I don't want to limit it, because there's a lot of different like mythologies and there's a lot of record, okay, to go through from the whole region. But basically, those two deities, El and Yahweh, kind of became synonymous over time. But if you read, like even in the Bible, when they talk about in Genesis, when they're like, we, you know, we assembled and we did whatever, they're talking about like this family. And there are references to El as being the father and Yahweh being more the son. But over time, they kind of just became the same person, right? So when they talk about El, they're like, oh, now this just means God, whereas Yahweh is like the actual name of God, or Hashem, or whatever we want to call him, right?
Yeah.
So as a storm god, that is also in many respects what Marduk was. Marduk was like the Babylonian version of this like supreme storm god. Well, Marduk ascended to the Babylonian throne through like the high throne of gods, through the story of creation. And that's why they worked so hard to make him like build him up like he was the best of everybody. Well, the Jews did the same thing with their deity over time, and you can see that evolution if you actually go and read the Bible. He does not start out as the supreme deity, but over time he really starts to push this, and he becomes very jealous. He even says, "My name is jealous." You know, he's giving like this epithet, like what's going on here? Why are you like working so hard? You know,
you shall have no other gods before me.
Implying or admitting that there are these other gods, you know, that we just forgot about. Now, just like Babylonian Marduk has a consort, so too does Sharpanatu or Zarpanatu, however you want to say it. El also, or Yahweh, also has a consort with almost the exact same associations. Her name was Asherah, and so the way that, and this is like easy to find out, you guys, you can like definitely go and easily look this up.
Yeah.
The Babylonians, I'm like trying so hard not to like go into all the history. It's really, really hard to not just go on a giant tangent. The Jews were exiled, so to speak, to Babylon. And during that period, while they were there, they weren't like in camps or something. They lived there. They had businesses, it's kind of a weird situation. As a matter of fact, when they released the Jews, a lot of the Jews didn't want to go back. They just kind of stayed there. But while they're there, they're being like heavily influenced by Babylonian religion and the idea of like this supreme God, the supreme storm God, with this consort and everything, that really took hold. And they really wanted, this is where like the messianic tradition comes in, because they really wanted somebody to come in. My cats are fighting. I don't know if you can hear that. You guys stop it. I already fed you. They wanted someone to come in and save them and to like bring the tribes of Israel back so they could have this, cohesive tribe like they used to back when it was, the Israelites and whatnot.
Right.
I'm gonna throw a pillow at you. Hold on. I'm trying to multitask.
Okay.
So they're being heavily influenced. So by the time like the Babylonian exile is over, everybody, goes back to wherever they want to go to. That's when they really start. So all these prophets, the Jewish prophets, really start to refine what had previously been an oral tradition and kind of bring this all into the same, like they wanted to all be on the same page. And during that process, they stopped talking about the other deities, the other gods. Now there's just going to be the one. Now keep in mind, this was, what's my, Google that for me if you don't mind. When was the Babylonian captivity?
Okay.
So I don't get my times wrong. It wasn't that long before Christ. Okay. It's not that long that the Hebrew religion is actually coming into like its modern incarnation. So, but that's why there's so much disparity between the books of the Bible. They're really like, what's the word I would use? They're kind of all over the place, and it's almost like
because it's a collection of writings. It was not penned from end to end like the Harry Potter series.
Yeah. So there's like the El or Yahweh. They have like sometimes their character seems really like different. It varies between different like authors and books of the Bible and stuff. So anyways, why was I going on that tangent? So anyways, they got rid of Asherah. They got rid of his consort. They made him, instead of having, so like in Mesopotamia, pretty much every other religion prior to this, there was always a divine feminine figure too. Well, El Yahweh basically took on that role too. So now you don't need a mother goddess anymore. Now El is your mother as well as your father. He's got, he's the one that creates life. It's really kind of, I think it's a bummer. I think it's kind of sad. Now, I'm not a hyper feminist, you guys. Like, I'm not that person. I don't think of myself as a feminist at all. I'm very traditional, gender roles. Like I'm that person. So I'm not, but there's definitely, we missed out. We definitely shot ourselves in the foot a little bit when we throw all that stuff out. And again, it goes back to, if you're going to push that stuff, know what you're talking about. That's all I got to say. It does.
Double J in the chat says Abby does an amazing natal chart with 3 exclamation points.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
And I've got your dates according to Google. Between 597 BCE and 538 BCE.
Okay, so like 500 years. That's it.
Yeah. Well, call it 600, but yeah.
Well, and they didn't go right to writing everything down right away. It was also a slow process, like over a few hundred years.
Right.
So.
And they were freed by Persian leader Cyrus the Great, and I don't think they're currently very grateful about that.
Cyrus that they were freed.
They were free. According to Google, this captivity lasted until they were freed by Persian leader Cyrus the Great.
Yes.
So, yeah. I will occasionally poke at this, and there are definitely aspects of this that are addressed in Western esotericism as I practice it, and also the Zohar, which nobody reads. Like, nobody reads the Zohar, which you kind of have to have some understanding of, like, the Tree of Life and the Sephirot to read it with any kind of understanding, because it references these things so many times. But you basically got 10 names of God that appear over and over again in this stuff and the different aspects of God. And usually when in the Bible, when you see like, and God said, and God said, and God said, the word God usually is a different different name every time in the Hebrew or the Aramaic, but it's translated as God. You know, even like the first line of like Genesis 1:1 is I looked it up. I did a side-by-side comparison. I was like, I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna drill down into this madness. And from my read of it, just literally saying the words in sequence in Aramaic like they appear, it says, the beginning created the gods and the heavens and the earth. That is not what shows up in your Bible.
No, it isn't. And this is a so like your Jewish scholars, like your honest ones, people who are like dedicated their lives to something, like they admit this stuff, like they know.
Yeah.
Um,
But the Jehovah's Witnesses that show up here do not know.
no, well, no, they don't. Well, that's a whole different conversation. Like, why are we, like, why are we waiting on a Messiah?
Yeah.
Like that. So, okay, so since we're on the topic, we might as well.
Oakley dokley.
If you want to believe, like, the whole idea of a Messiah comes directly from, again, this trauma that they had from being exiled to Babylon. And just feeling like being tired of being displaced and stuff. It had nothing to do with saving souls. If you read,
Right.
like none of that. There was none of that. That was all, like, much of modern Christianity is actually would I use the word bastardization?
Well, you could do
Created
that.
by the early Roman Catholic Church.
It's a retcon if you want to use sort of modern writer language.
Okay, sure, we can use it. It has nothing to do with the whole doctrine of hell, like all of it, you guys, all of it. People don't know because they've never read the Bible. Like, read it,
Right.
like sit down and read it.
And like Milton and Dante ended up sort of inadvertently creating all this lore
Yeah,
that got absorbed, and people don't even realize that it's not biblical.
it has nothing to do with the Bible, nothing at all.
No.
It's crazy.
No.
Like,
Also,
I feel bad because I'm like I want you, if you're a Christian, I want you to be 100% a Christian.
sure.
And like be like know you're like, I want you to be a Christian if you are. If you're Jewish, I want you to be like the best Jew. If you're whatever you are, I want you to be the best at it.
Right.
But you gotta read your scriptures.
Yeah, yeah. Also, if I was a Jehovah's Witness and I thought that like only 144,000 of us was going to make it, I'm not sure I'd be going around knocking on doors to like get bumped off the list, you know?
That's a good
That's
way to
just
put
me.
it.
You know,
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
like you might have just, got your replacement.
I like Jehovah's Witnesses.
They're generally very nice.
I love talking about religion and history and politics. So like I'm all bored when somebody comes to my door with a Bible. I'm ready to roll. Ready.
Ready to rock. Got Ezekiel in hand.
That's right. Right.
Sorry.
It's so fascinating. I don't know. I just eat it up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real thing. And if you're sincere about it, then there's a lot of good to be had from it. But I usually fall back to this notion of like any sincere spiritual seeker, like this is, you choose your method of inquiry based on, who you are and what you can handle. Right. I think even like black magicians they're taking the ride and they're taking the scenic route and they're doing this because it suits their psyche in some way. You know, they'll
Sure.
they will have self-discovery in this process. What is it the way I would go? Well, I didn't go that way, so probably not. But yeah, that's my fallback is like I really don't want to just hammer somebody's idea of a good time, and I sort of assume that they picked something that suits them, and hopefully they're actually getting something out of it as opposed to just like running around and beating everybody else over the head with it.
Yes. Uh well, yeah, and it's hard because you get like it's not limited to religion, obviously, you know, people do that with their culture, they do it with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. But I mean,
Unfortunately.
it's the way I tend to look at things anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I just want to leave people alone. Like really, like because I want to be left alone. Like, let me just do my thing, you do your
Yeah,
thing, and wouldn't
yeah.
that be great? I'm apparently in the minority in that regard.
I think there's more of us who are like that. We just don't speak up, so you don't hear it as much. But I
That's
think
true.
most people are like that.
People who want to be
At
left
least I
alone.
like to think that they are.
Yeah.
Hold on, there's a mosquito, and it's been driving
Oh,
me crazy for
oh,
like a couple of nights. So I gotta smush it, you
you
guys. Hold
gotta
on.
zap it. Hey, everybody, thanks for showing up to this live stream. I appreciate it.
It'll
And
go
thank
right
you.
to it'll. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
I was saying I appreciate everybody who's attending the live stream, and I
Yeah.
appreciate the chats. Thank you very
Yeah, this
much.
was like super last minute. So we were not, we
Oh
didn't
yeah,
warn anyone. We were doing it. Like we did not expect anyone to even know that we were on this call today.
we are winging it.
Yeah.
I have an idea that's totally not selfish at all.
Okay, what?
Um, so you recently, I saw you do a thing where you like laid out a map, and it was based on a natal chart, and it was like you should maybe go here and not here.
Yeah.
Um, could we do one of those?
Yeah. I don't
Do you,
want to pull, whose chart is it? Is it yours?
do you mind?
Okay, but I don't want to pull it up because it'll show your birth date and time and stuff. And I want to keep your
Okay.
details private. We
Yeah,
can do that, right?
we can do that.
Okay. So
If
you're talking about astrocartography.
is that what that is? Okay.
That, yes. Do you have a place in mind?
Great. Well, yeah. So let's call it one of the places would be like Eastern Tennessee.
Man, I thought you were gonna say Eastern Europe or like
Well,
Argentina or someplace cool. You're like
okay.
Eastern Tennessee.
Well, we can do some of those.
No,
Like
that's okay. We'll check.
we can do Argentina also. Um and where else?
Well, are you
Oh,
actually gonna go to those places?
who knows?
Okay.
I don't know. But these are the places. So if I was going to go traveling right now, be like,
Uh-huh. Oh, you
where are
just
you
want
going
to
to go?
travel or you want to move?
Well, while moving could be part of it, like traveling would be the first part, and then like, is this good? Is this bad? I don't know. And then if I decided I
Okay.
wanted to move, I'm not going to move any place I haven't been before. First of all,
Oh, okay.
that ain't happening. But so I'd be like, I already know Eastern Tennessee, but I'd love to see where it shows up in the map. I would go Argentina, and I would go with like um Rishikesh in India,
Okay.
which is in the northern India foothills of the Himalayas.
Okay. So if anybody out there is wondering, when you do astrocart, so everybody who does astrocartography, they come to me and they're like, tell me where I need to move. It does not work that way. Okay. So just like you are a multifaceted human being with different astrological traits, different places will affect you in different ways. It really depends on what you're trying to achieve by your move or your vacation or whatever it is. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
Eastern Europe is not out of the question, by the way.
Okay.
Just I haven't been there.
Sorry, I'm sneezing.
It's
Stand by.
okay. It's all right.
Let's look at Tennessee. Okay, yes, all right. Yeah, auto-populate so I don't have to spell. All right, what are you trying to achieve by Tennessee?
I would like to get away from this swamp nuts weather, actually.
Are you thinking Knoxville?
Uh,
Nashville?
sort of like Johnson City, even.
Where's that?
That is like in the upper right corner tippy tip of Tennessee there.
Okay, honestly, most of Tennessee looks great for you. The only
Okay.
thing I wouldn't do is Jackson or like that far west. I think
Yeah.
everything else looks actually really good.
Okay. Because every
Just
time I
generally
go,
speaking.
here's the thing. Every time I go to Eastern Tennessee, I feel like I should stay there. Like I just don't go back. Do not go back
Yes,
to Texas. Don't go back to, don't go back
wherever.
east. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I get that
That's a
feeling every single time.
Okay, so here's the other thing with astrocartography. 99 times out of 100, the place you feel drawn to is the place where it shows up astrologically as being the best for you.
Okay.
So this goes back to astrology is like if you could take your intuition and put it into ones and zeros and pop it into a computer program. It's kind of like, it shows you what your intuition's already telling you. Now, most people are, if you guys don't notice, okay, so I'm like, where's the full moon? Okay, like I'm looking at the last time my dyslexia brain was telling me, was in Sagittarius, and that was from last month. So like, like I don't always have to know what's going on at any given time, despite I clearly see the value in astrology, right?
Right.
That's because I'm super tuned in to my intuition. I'm in a constant blissed out state, you guys. I'm not exaggerating. I'm just like one with the universe most of the time. Okay. So like things are just always awesome, and they just continue to be awesome. When they're not being awesome, it's because I'm not listening to my intuition. I'm letting somebody, like manipulate me, or I'm like giving too much, and like, I'm in some sort of goofy toxic relationship. We all have them, right? There's always some reason, and better. Like, when you're in those moments that you should not be doing whatever you're doing. Other than that, like everything, when you're in line with your intuition, everything just flows very smoothly. And the same thing goes almost every single time. I honestly can't, I'm just saying almost every, just to cover my bases, but I can't think of a single time where somebody's intuition did not just automatically show up in the chart. Like, no, I'm doing all of the things it said, and my life is awesome. Okay. If your life sucks, look at your natal chart, because that's your way to tell you, like, where am I going wrong here? You're probably just overthinking it. And you're just not listening to your intuition. Okay.
Me overthinking something?
So.
That is
Right.
crazy talk.
Argentina, there we go. Let's see here. No, I'm just gonna say no.
Okay.
This is too, it's too hectic. No, I just wouldn't do it. Where else did we say? Eastern Europe? Let me
We
just
said Eastern Europe. I actually at one time was considering Armenian.
Oh, it's awesome there.
Because it's like super historic and super cheap, and
yeah, I love it there. I wouldn't want to live there because in February, like, it's too warm. I went there in February, and I'm like, I didn't need my coat. Like I just didn't need it. And that's too hot. Like, I want my February's at least 20 below. That's how I like it. So where are we at here? I'm gonna have to. So you're thinking Armenia? Would you really go there?
I considered it.
You know what? Well, I can't, like, Armenian food too, but oh my God, Georgian food. Oh, it's like the best food ever. Every time I eat Georgian food, it's like the most amazing food. I think that's important when choosing a place to live.
Right. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Also India, northern India in Rishikesh.
Oh, that's right. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I'm updating. I'm generating my map. Why don't I see it? Okay, so it doesn't want to pull it up for me. So now I have to use my awesome geography skills. Not great, you guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay, so we're down here by the Black Sea. I know you guys can't see what I'm looking at, or else somebody could probably help me. Okay. Okay, zoom in. Here, while I'm doing this, entertain people, Friar.
Okay. So we had a question from from Horror Edits, and the question was, what is zodiac sign of a person born of 30 December? And I said Sagittarius.
Well, let's confirm. Hold on, I'll pull up the thing too. Okay, 30 December. And I will show you on the chart. Share the screen. Nope, share the screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, so as you can see.
Oh, who's in the chat? But Nikki is in the chat.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
We miss you. Nikki will be on next week, supposedly. So
oh, yeah?
excited.
I'm excited.
So as you can see, the sun on 30 December, yes, 12/30, yes, is right smack in the middle of the head of Sagittarius. Interestingly, some depictions of this figure, Pablo Sang, have a dog's head coming out of the back of his head. They would either way, both heads are going to be right in this area right here. He also has a scorpion body, and his scorpion tail would have come right up around the back. In some depictions, he has wings coming out of his back instead of this cape thing. I don't know why they have a cape. It doesn't make any sense, but so we have more of the intellectual cognitive leadership traits, as well as some of that decisiveness that comes with Sagittarius, especially right here in this placement. So congratulations, whoever asked that question, because this is a good placement.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, Horror Edits.
There you go. There you go. All right, I'm still looking for Armenia. Okay, my map is all over the place. Okay, I will find it. I don't know why it's not. I looked for it on here and it didn't pop up for me.
It's near Azerbaijan, which does not help you at all.
No. Like, I know it's right here, but like, I want it to pop up. Okay, hold on. I'll just do it manually. Stand by. I know you can't see what I'm doing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yes. Yes. There we are. Yerevan. Where are you at? You're right on this. Ooh, that's interesting. It would be an interesting place for you. It actually looks really good. I wouldn't do Azerbaijan, but I would definitely do Armenia. Definitely good. Georgia, good. Good. Very good.
You know what I know about Georgia?
Better.
Georgia, I know nothing about Georgia. But I could learn. They're things.
All like because they're all like the same. I mean, they don't think so. Like they will be very offended. But from like a Western outsider, like, you know, like you call the same food that you make a little bit different, you know, but it's kind of the same. I think Armenia has better weather though. Okay. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that.
Like dry and hot doesn't bother me so much, but I'm not living in no Vietnam. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think Georgia, because of like more mountainous and whatnot, I think it rains more and it might be a little bit more humid. Armenia was it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous.
And also Rishikesh in
yes. Okay. Let's see if I can do this.
Home of my beautiful Lord.
What?
That's it's another name for Krishna, actually. Rishikesh.
Oh, I didn't know. I missed only half of what you said. I don't know if there was
it's okay.
I just heard beautiful Lord and I didn't know what it was in reference to.
Krishna.
Okay.
They call him Rishikesh in the Bhagavad Gita.
How right. Hold on, my cities aren't all gonna populate for me. Give me a geographic based on like the biggest cities. So because just the way my map's laid out, because it's not gonna let me search for the individual city. It's just not.
Delhi, I think, is gonna be not maybe close by. I can look it up.
That's what I should have done. I should looked at like a picture on Google first, because then I can like eyeball it. Okay, spell it for me.
Rishi, Rishi. Kesh. I think it's Kesh.
Yeah. Oh, not the person.
No, because the person is.
I know. Yeah, I know. I want a map. No, it's like showing me like politicians and stuff. Like no.
Yeah, okay, I'm trying to pull up a map so I can tell you sort of what it's near.
I'm on it. Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. Yeah, you're okay. All right, I got it.
Gotcha. I don't know if this is the most interesting thing for
maybe. It's a maybe.
It's a maybe. Okay.
It depends on. The only issue is that you have this it's not right there, but it's close enough to this. It puts the square with your Venus in your midheaven, which is not terrible, but it is a challenge. It would force you. Okay. It's going to, yes, it is going to force you to heal your emotional stuff. Now, if you're like me and you're like, let's dig in and let's figure this out and be done with it forever. Like, let's go all in. This is the perfect place for you. Okay. But you're going to have to confront your demons. And
do I have demons? Actually, I do.
I think your traumas, whatever, your skeletons, whatever you want to confront. But yeah, you would just have to do that, which is not a bad thing if you're ready to do that. But not everybody is. And some people will avoid that until the day they die.
Most people do not know on this live stream and chat that I have worked with you a little bit on that. And so, yes, I do have some things. So yes, I do have things.
I think everybody has them. Somebody's been testing my inner peace
Oh,
the last few days. Yeah.
Dre.
Yeah. Yes.
Same.
Is he a Dr. Dre? No. Almost. He's a master Dre. He has he's like 2 master's
Okay,
degrees.
nice.
And he doesn't say like psychology or something that he doesn't
Let's
use,
let
but
let's check one final
yeah,
destination
yeah.
that I, you know,
Yeah,
may
let's do
go
it.
to. We'll call it Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's just see
Where you're at now?
if I were to go.
Oh, where
No,
your birth? No, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know
no.
where you're at. I just know you're somewhere in the South.
I am somewhere in the south, in the swamp.
Would you do like a savanna or something? Is that too hot and sticky?
It's too, yeah, swampy, swamp nuts. Although I do like Savannah, but I don't want to live man. I
Savannah
spent
feels like a different country. Like it doesn't even feel like America. I don't know if that's
it's
enough.
wackadoodle. I spent some time there, and while it is truly beautiful, and they have some really interesting ways of entertaining themselves, I also didn't like the fact that like fire ants will just burrow into your house. And also it's got like this ring of crime around it.
Does
It's
it?
just, oh my God. Yeah, I've let's just say that I have a when I have occasion to travel, I take with me what I'd like to call a social fire extinguisher. And the only time I ever had cause to get my hands on the social fire extinguisher was on the outskirts of Savannah.
Oh, okay.
No, nothing happened. I did not have to recharge the fire extinguisher. But yeah,
Okay.
it was, we're right on the edge there.
Anywhere south of Ohio is too hot and too south for me. So
Okay.
I wouldn't judge you for not wanting to live anywhere near Savannah. For any Carolinas or Georgia, you're all running with the same line. So it
Okay.
doesn't matter. Anywhere in the States, like you're still dealing with the
Is that a
same
good?
stuff. It's okay. It's good.
Okay.
It's still a good, nice healing
It's
place. It's not bad.
all right.
Um, but I think people are kind of like plants, sort of. Not, I mean, not,
You have a
but
lot of plants, so
yes. Um, well, at a certain point, you have to uproot the plant and you have to repot it somewhere else so it has enough space. You
ah,
got to give it new soil. You got to like break up the roots a little bit so that they can start to, because they're getting all tight, and they don't do anything. And that really allows them to grow and flourish. I think people have to do that too. In some people's charts, it does like rooting themselves is definitely an issue. I have a little bit of it, I have a Virgo ascendant, I have a Jupiter Saturn conjunction in there, and it does intensify some of that desire. And I even though I've traveled a lot, it comes in bursts because outside of the traveling, I'm like home, like, and I'm fine with that.
right.
So, you know. It is good to shake things up though.
Okay. So
I
that's my astrocartography.
yeah.
So just to recap, Argentina is a no.
Yeah, it's just chaotic. I just want it.
Uh, Eastern
South
Tennessee.
America looked kind of messy. I just want it.
Okay. Eastern Tennessee was a yes.
Yeah.
Um, Rishikesh was like go there to fight the snow demons, which it
Yeah.
sounds kind of epic, but I don't know.
Later on. It's a
Okay.
good place to visit, probably for sure.
All right. Is there any place in like Eastern Europe proper that like looks good for me? Like, oh, you should really try,
See, that's
whatever,
that's the thing that I was trying to tell you. Like,
Montenegro or
it depends on what are you trying to achieve by your move.
I want to basically A, I want to get better weather. B, um
Okay,
I
so
want
Southern Europe.
I like it cooler. Like I was okay with Sweden.
Oh, well, what do you mean by better weather? Most people mean not
For
cold.
okay, then I should specify because that would be a
Yeah,
good idea.
yeah.
I I like all four seasons, but if someone said, well, you can't have all four seasons, so do you want swamp nuts or do you want like cooler than that? I'd say cooler.
So 4 seasons are okay.
Four seasons are okay.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but again, I didn't mind Sweden. I really didn't because
Sweden actually looks pretty good. Stockholm. I wouldn't do Norway. I wouldn't go that far over.
No.
Um,
But like I've looked at Poland, Hungary, that sort of thing.
yeah, Poland looks good. I'd do Poland. You said Hungary? Yeah, same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, those look good. See, your intuition is telling you. It knows.
Yeah, yeah. Because you and I both share a very similar political alignment, let's just say. And
Mm,
um I don't like living in a country that's on a knife edge all the damn time.
yeah.
So
I mean, I would leave just because of the food, if nothing else. Like your guys' food sucks. It's not real food.
it's not real food, I grant you that, and the ingredient base is not what it could be for sure. So yeah, there's that. We do have variety, but I guess a variety of bad food, is that worth it?
Well, yeah, like what do you need variety for? I eat like the same stuff every single day. I maybe like switch out Gretchka for, oh, what do they call that in English? Buckwheat.
Ah, yes.
Buckwheat for rice. There, I have some variety there. I got some variety.
I think I had kasha, which was that buckwheat?
Well, they have different types of kasha.
Because I used to
They,
eat at Russian restaurants for special occasions.
some of it, they have buckwheat kasha for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What else going on in the chat? Anything?
Oh yeah, Nikki has been rocking it here. Oh yeah. She says she wants to move too. And that
Where's
she
she want to
says
go?
sounds like I have choices. And she says, I know I'm thinking about how bad the food sucks every day. Where does Nikki want to go? Nikki was wanting to go west. I do remember that.
Yeah.
She wanted to go to like Western
Yeah,
United
we looked,
States.
I thought we just looked at, yeah. And then east, I said definitely re-look at possibly going east.
Like
because
reconsider east.
it looks pretty good. Now, you guys all know, I will tell everyone to just leave the country for reasons that I just articulated. Not just the food, not just the repotting of the plants, but it's good to like shake things up. But like when you
That's
have a
true.
family and kids, it does make it a little bit harder. But if you don't have kids, this sounds horrible, you guys, and you can judge me all you want. I do not care. If you don't have actual infant children or, non-adult children, so anybody under 18, then you don't technically have any responsibility to any other person besides yourself, okay? So it was incumbent, and I'm saying this from a parent too, okay? I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be a hypocrite here, but it's not anyone's responsibility to take care of you as an adult. If you smoked, you ate garbage your entire life, you pushed your body way past the point where it was useful. Like it's not your kid's responsibility to take care of you forever. And like, yes, that's nice if they can. But that's also like, that's not how it's, I don't think that's supposed to be how it works. Now, technically, if I want to be like super technical, I would say that our society is not like, we live in in the West, we live in a very unnatural type of society. So what we're designed to do is live in communities, in which case the entire community should be taking care of your elderly parents or your sick uncle or whatever it is that
Yeah.
who your friend, whoever it is. The only people, as like from a biological level, the only person that you're supposed to be sacrificing yourself for is your actual like offspring. And outside of that, everybody's like, yeah, I will if I can, but if not, I don't know what to tell you, because you're not, if you are getting the life sucked out of you from your food, from like your all these people that you feel like responsible for, you're no longer of use to anyone, not even your kids, not even yourself. There is a level, like you have to be kind of selfish, okay, and like take care of you first, so that you can be of net benefit to everyone that you interact with, because at a certain point you're not benefiting anyone, and like at a certain point you're like on the verge of like checking out, like for good, because it's too much. So we're just not designed for that. No one person was designed to just totally take care of like some ex-husband, or think of like, make something up, like we're not. But that's usually why people don't leave the country, why they won't just uproot themselves. Again, it's different if you have kids. Sometimes you can't take your kid out of the state because you got like an ex-spouse or whatever.
Yeah.
which is fine. I get that. But everybody else, you guys are fair game, and you should get out of there, like get away, escape. You will not look back, and you will not regret it. And sometimes it's good too, because it forces your loved ones to kind of get their shit together
True.
and figure their stuff out.
Right.
So
Well, I do part of my lore, if you will, is I did have an escape arc where I went from here. I just literally I packed what would fit in my car
mhm,
and I drove away, and that was the plan. Like that was
yeah.
it. So I went to Chicago, and then I went to Milwaukee and hung out with Mike Schenk from American Movie, and I
Oh,
went to Menominee Falls, and then I went down to Arkansas and spent time there. And then I ended up in Austin, lived there for a little while, moved to Houston, hated it so damn much, moved back to Austin, and then I was in Texas for like 15 years. So I have had some time away, and some of those things that you mentioned about family having to adjust is very true. Um, now I think there's another travel arc coming. I don't know what it entirely looks like, but I could tell you, I don't like the swamp nuts. Really tired of the swamp nuts.
no, no, I don't like it either. I don't even have
Gnarly.
nuts, and I don't like it.
We have a question.
Gross. Yes.
We have a question from Double J. One
Okay.
last divine feminine question.
Yeah.
Would Tiamat, Kali, and Ashura be considered the same person? Would Lilith be considered part of the divine feminine? Lilith or Lilith, if you.
Wow. I don't know if I can answer
That's a
this
lot.
question without using my like I have personal bias here, like philosophically or spiritually, religiously. Um, I would say yes. Uh, they're all the same. I don't think that you can separate them, but I also am saying this from a place of I think we're all the same. Like I think we're all existence, everything that is, because you can't have anything that is not. It's all either is or there's nothing, right? I think it's all just the same stuff. I think we're all God. I don't care what you call that. Call it
Right.
Marduk or Yahweh or Shiva, like Krishna, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it matters. I think it's just semantics. So like I don't know that I can answer that. Now, from like a scholarly perspective, they'll probably tell you no. For Ashura, they're all to me, they're just aspects of the same divine feminine, right? So
Okay.
the whole Lilith thing, I'm really biased with the Lilith stuff because like it's been corrupted by like I don't know. I just don't
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know
I
what I'm
mean,
trying to say?
I do because there's just a lot of emotion around it too.
Yeah, I just
Because
don't I don't put any I don't care about I didn't know this sounds mean. I don't care about Lilith. Like I don't care. Like it
right.
doesn't like register on my radar.
In right, and in Western esotericism and in Kabbalah in particular, Lilith is a big bad, like one of the big bad bads. So, and
But
to the point,
again, where is that really coming from? Like are we just
and
afraid of our females or
in some, I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to hang this right on out here on the internet.
okay.
I don't think it matters because I think what happens is there are good things and bad things, right? Or and good parts of you and bad parts of you, and people just got to figure out a name to hang on it. And sometimes the name you hang on it
Yeah.
was a name that other people thought was a good name, and you think it's a bad name. I don't fucking care. It's just a way of examining a thing, and you hang the name on it.
So like an
And
archetype, basically.
yeah, like
Okay.
the for I know that absolutely are people who are deeply spiritual who are left hand pathies, and they're just like all about the elite. Great, because that means that thing to you. To me, and the thing that I do, not so much. But that's just a way of inquiry. Again, it all
Yeah.
comes for me. It all comes back to inquiry. Like you want to examine yourself, and you want to examine the pieces of you, and you're going to call them something. And the
So
Acadians are going to call
Friar,
it yes.
what is the thing that you do for all of our listeners?
Oh, a thing that I do is that I believe very strongly, that people need to be listened to, and that they aren't listened to enough. And in fact, I do strongly believe that if people were listened to, felt heard, that the world would be a better place in innumerate ways. Just, less wars, less interpersonal crap. So what I do is I like to listen. I will listen to you, whoever you are. Bring me the things that you want to say, and I will absolutely listen to you. You can contact me if you want my service. You can contact me at friarpesel@gmail.com, and it's FRIAR PESEL, all one word, all lowercase, @gmail.com.
Yes,
And
I
that is
believe it's in the description too, in the video description.
okay. Great. And yes, I will give you a place to put all the things you need to say. It's one of the things, honest to God, that I'm really, really good at. And I don't big myself up. Like, I'm not a big, like, egotist, whatever, but I'm telling you, like, it's something I was born to do. I've done it all my life. And I will very, very gladly avail myself to all comers. So thank you
Yes.
for giving me that opportunity to say so.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that you did. Are you all right, Cosmos? He's like hacking up a fur ball or something. I forgot, by the way, I forgot to talk about the retrograde Mercury. I'm just going to touch on it real quick. Okay, so this is
Retrograde.
yeah, so listen, this is what happened this morning. I'm like, okay, so we're doing this live stream. Like, what are we going to talk about? And I asked ChatGPT, hey, what's trending like right now today?
Nice.
And they're all like these retrograde Mercuries, okay?
You can also use Google Trends, by the way.
I could, but ChatGPT is up all the time on my computer, so because
Okay.
I just use it all the time. I trust it more than Google at this point because Google sucks. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm showing you Mercury. Can you share am I sharing the screen? Can you see the screen?
You are sharing the screen. Yes.
So the dates for, and I'm not going to pretend like I remember what they were, and I should have written them down. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. So the dates for retrograde Mercury that ChatGPT gave me were again based on, they're saying, what did they say? Oh, retrograde Mercury in Virgo. Like, what are you talking about, dude? No, they're not. Today is the 14th.
Supposed to be talking about chaos. It's chaos.
Yeah, it is chaos because you guys don't know where anything's
Tropical-
at, and you don't know how
tropical
to find
chaos.
it, apparently. And you're making these awesome thumbnails, this awesome, like, these videos, I'm sure are great and scare the shit out of people. I'm sure they are. Like, that'd be great, I think, if I had that in me and I could do that to people, but I just can't. I can't not, like, just not be honest about it. Okay, so, okay.
I could make you scary thumbnails if you wanted.
I mean,
No,
yeah, sure, but like, then they're gonna watch the video and be like, oh, that wasn't scary at all. Okay, so hold on.
That would be clickbait.
Okay. So why do I want to turn my screen around? I need to change my location.
Yes.
Let's do Chicago.
Chicagoland area.
Oh, I can't spell Chicago. Oh, because I don't need that. Reset the location. Stand by.
Turn to page 394.
Okay, Professor Snape. Let's see. Where are we at? Mercury. Here we go. Mercury's down here. I gotta move this too. Stand by. Okay. I just had him. He's right here. All right. So on Solarium, as you guys can see, Friar, do me a favor. Look at look up and see if it tells you when the retrograde Mercury is, but don't say like sidereal or literal. Just see if it gives you the silly Virgo placements.
So you just right.
Okay.
Mercury. Wait. You want a search for Mercury retrograde?
Yeah. See what the Mercury retrograde is right now.
Okay. I need to get out of this mode. Stinking.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So as you can see, this last Mercury retrograde, if you don't know what's happening, and I hope that you do. Mercury is circling around the sun here. Maybe I should play it forward this way. Back in, okay, see, here's where the dyslexia comes in. 5, you guys, that's May. Yes, okay. April, May, June. Okay, I'm counting. And I still sing the alphabet song when I have to find something alphabetically because I just do. All right. So I'm going to play this forward and you guys can see, let's see here. I'm actually, yes. All right. We'll follow Mercury and Mercury is swinging around Way too fast, probably. And this is the last time that it was going direct before it went Mercury, or excuse me, retrograde. Oh, shoot. Oh, no, no.
Oh, whoa. Houston, we have a problem.
Right, stop.
We're
No, dude, you
tumbling.
gotta stop. You gotta, what is happening right now? I have no idea. All right, hold on. Back up, back up, back up. All right, try again.
Arresto
so-
momentum.
Yes, yes, we need Harry Potter spells for sure. Okay. So it's going direct, it's going direct. At this point, and again, we're just looking at it starting to circle back around the sun. Okay. If you haven't figured that out, that's all that's going on. Now in Babylon, in Mesopotamia in general, they were just called wandering stars because they just went back and forth. There was nothing spooky about them doing wandering. That was what they thought was like their natural thing. They're gods, they do what they want. Okay. So around now, this is where the actual Mercury retrograde started. Okay. So this was July 19th. I keep having a pop-up show up. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, so and then it starts to go retrograde. It's actually swinging farther away. It's behind the sun. That's why it's so tiny. Now you wouldn't have been able to see it anyways because, you know, obviously it's the sun is up and you're not going to be able to see it until it like spaces out. So then it starts to go direct again. Let me see. This is September 5th. So what dates did you come up with?
It's oh god. Well, now I'm in pop-up hell.
Okay.
Let me wait. What about the shit? I don't need 12 paragraphs about the history of this
No, no, no. See, that's why I use Chat GPT because it just
yeah.
tells me the answer that I want right away.
Okay. August 4th to August 27th, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac, which is quite a witchy resource, by the way.
It is, for sure.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
They still use the tropical zodiac, though.
Yeah, because that's a hangover that, anyway.
Yeah, they haven't, I don't know. I don't get it. Because they're up before the sun comes up. They know, they should know.
They should know.
They probably just don't look at the constellations. Okay. So anyways, as you guys can see, from the middle of July, all the way through August, it's retrograde, and then it's swinging back around, and it's all the way until like the beginning of September. Okay. It's still in Leo. It's nowhere near Virgo. So anything you see about retrograde in Virgo is 100% nonsense. I think that this is a good time to just let you guys know that there's definitely some nippage poking out right here, if you guys haven't noticed this. And if we go over here
oh god
to
Whoa. Hold
yes.
up.
Oh, you guys didn't know? You didn't know?
No.
Hey, it's Stellarium. I didn't draw the pictures, but there we go. Now I'm okay with this. Okay. I'm all right with this because I think that that's natural and like we shouldn't be ashamed of these things. But yeah, there's some interesting pictures in here in the sky. And I just, since I was zoomed in, I figured I'd show you.
Okay. 4K Tryon Hall.
Yep.
Transparent dresses. Man, YouTube has some wild shit on it still, let me just tell you.
Like what?
Like Eastern European models who are trying on clothing that is basically not clothing. It's sheer.
I've been seeing some weirder stuff pop up in my feed lately. Some stuff like, how did you guys not catch this?
Yeah, it's like OnlyFans models who are giving a free preview, basically.
It's not foot stuff, right?
No,
because that's what the audience wants. Like we know that's what the people want.
People want the feet. Yeah, in fact, I've seen people blurring their feet out on YouTube, and I'm just like,
because that's dirty. Yeah, it's naughty. Feet are naughty.
Dang. Yeah. Anyways,
that was sarcasm. Just so you guys know, sarcasm.
I'm glad to know that Stellarium is anatomically accurate. Although I could have lived without the junk.
Well,
there it is.
He's a proud warrior. Okay.
Indeed.
Yes. Ready for battle.
All comers, if you will.
Yes. Anything else? Should we?
Do we have anything else?
I don't know. We started late. Do you want to do another 10 minutes?
I can do another 10 minutes. Yeah.
All right,
easy.
let's do it.
Easy peasy.
Let's do it. What were some of the other goofy things we said? So chaos, Aquarius, chaos.
Oh,
no chaos.
Switch over to my YouTubes. I'm using 3 devices right now to
Okay, you're on
cover
top of it.
everything.
Yeah, you're multitasking pro. I'm
Oh,
not.
let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Pakistan will cease to exist.
That is an extreme claim.
That is quite a claim. Um,
Yes.
that is an astrology predication. I will have you know. What else?
Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's probably false.
Probably false. Um, Gee whiz. There's a lot of exclamation points. 35-year rare reset.
Based on what?
Mars and Jupiter meet in Gemini. Um,
Okay.
this is from someone known as Lunatic Astrology, which I appreciate the
Yeah,
honesty.
be honest about it for sure.
The warrior meets the king for a 2-year reboot of dot dot dot.
So it's a 2-year reboot, but you want to call it like a 35-year reset or whatever? That doesn't make
Yes,
sense.
cover all your bases, I guess.
Maybe before it gets back in that part of the sky or something. I don't know.
I'm getting a lot of Joni Patry because that's how it works. Wild Crazy Ride, August 2024, World and All Signs Astrology Update. That's also from Lunatic Astrology.
August 2024, like just a whole month? Based on what though?
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting a lot of Lunatic Astrology all of a sudden.
Okay. Did you click on one of their things?
No, this is not clicky. This is like the
Oh, okay.
list. Something's Gotta Give, August 2024, all 12
Man, I gotta get
signs.
better at writing some like headlines and stuff. I'm dropping the ball over here.
Yeah, you need some like
I need to start
explosive
scaring
ones.
people. I need to freak people out. That's what I need to do.
KRS
I
channel's got
could freak people out. Like we're literally on the verge of nuclear war. Is that not scary enough? Do we need astrology for that? Like that's really happening right now.
yeah, it is. You could do that. There's
Don't want
what
to.
is it? Diary of a CEO. So if you
Okay.
want to crib like clicky baity, very popular titles, that's the one you want to copy because Diary of a CEO, they do this insane amount of research. Like they will put up 12 different versions of the video with 12
Okay.
different titles, and
Yeah, and see which one sticks.
yeah, they'll get rid of all the ones that don't.
Yeah.
And so their titles are shit like they're lying to you about the blah, or
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's to generate intrigue. So like they're lying to you about your zodiac sign.
Those people are, see, I feel like all these people are real, like people who want to be content creators, like that's their thing.
Yes.
In which case, go all in and be as clickbaity as you possibly deliver on whatever you're saying. I hate those ones where it's like has nothing to do with the thumbnail and stuff. Like that makes me crazy.
Right.
But
And
like
that happens a
I'm
lot.
fine. Yeah, I'm fine with your scary clickbait titles as long as it's like legitimately gonna be scary. But my thing is, and I'm coming to terms with this, especially it really hit me over this summer, that I don't actually care about like being like a successful YouTuber. I just really don't care. And
I think
I tried to care, I tried.
right. I think
But
there's definitely like this crazy suite of tasks that are involved in like going full
oh
bore
yeah.
on the YouTube. Like
Oh,
I'm gonna be a YouTube person.
it's 12 hours a day. And
Yeah,
if it's your own thing and you're running your own show, you're working every single day. No, thank you.
right.
Thank
It's
you.
and it's futzy and it's a lot of like researching keywords and basically all the stuff you don't even want to fucking do.
Yep, you got to be up on like what's trending today. We all got to talk about Mr. Beast so that we hit
Yes,
the algorithm,
Mr.
right?
Beast. Yeah.
Who I didn't know existed until like 3 months ago.
I still
I'd never had heard of him, like no idea who he was.
the only thing I know about Mr. Beast, because I simply will not click a video, is that he's a popular dude who apparently was just doing ridiculous things, usually involving giving people money or houses
Yeah,
or like 1,000 burgers on the back of a truck or some shit. I don't know.
yeah.
But yes, he to do that level, it's just like it is full throttle all the way. You better love it.
Well, and one of the other things you don't think about when you're watching just like a person on a YouTube video, if it's like one guy, like who's that one? He's funny. He doesn't make too many, but John Tron, do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Or like Danny Gonzalez, do you know who any of these people are?
Nope.
Okay, so
I,
they have like millions of subscribers and stuff, but it's like one guy in front of a camera and they're just talking. But like you don't realize they have like a 10-person team that's doing their writing,
right.
their research, like it just looks like they're at home being a YouTuber and that's just what they do, but you don't
That's
realize like
Yeah,
No,
they hire out so much of it.
this is, yeah, it's like a for real legit business. I've had employees, I've had like sales teams, like I don't want to have to run any of that stuff anymore. I do not have any desire. My life
No.
is awesome. And if that means my YouTube channel will suck a little bit, that's fine. I am coming to grips with the idea of just doing live streams and not editing, which I think is,
A lot of people do that.
yeah, it would be good if I could sit through a video and clip stuff out and edit. I did it once, like on our first live stream, and I'm like, oh, I just don't want to do that
You don't
again.
have
Like
to.
I should, it's good probably, but I just
Maybe
don't
in the
know.
fall, like right now, it's bicycle weather, right? It's
Nah, it's
night.
fall
It's
now.
the.
It's
Is
cold.
it? Oh no, no kidding.
It's been hovering around 70, raining on and off every day since like the middle of the second week in July. There's no wind in sight. We're done. We
Okay.
just got one of those winters, but it's fine, whatever,
Okay. We do have a question in chat.
Yeah.
Regarding the fact that we are on the verge of nuclear war, what does Sumerian astrology have to say?
I mean, hey, they're not here anymore. None of the people that came after them in like any of the other Mesopotamian cultures. I mean, they're not. I mean, technically, there's Assyrians still, but like they're not running. There's no Assyrian Empire. There's no Babylonian Empire. Every empire, is eventually.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So like, is there a very real possibility that we just wipe ourselves out and got civilization has to start over? Yeah, that's legit. Now the last few times I've looked.
Okay.
I don't see now. I didn't do the solar return for the United States this year. Part of it was I just didn't want to. I might do it maybe on one of the live streams we can look at it. But the other thing is like it's an election year and it's madness. And astrology is not going to pick that stuff out, like it's just not. So like how much do we really want to go down this rabbit hole today or this year? But that said, I have seen multiple times the last few times I've looked where something comes in and saves us. Like astrologically, there's like these combative forces that like on a good side. So it's basically the same thing we talked about at the beginning, where Utu comes in, or Shamash, the sun, comes in and like tempers some of Venus's bad stuff. So like if Venus was in Leo all by herself, there's a potential for some like just madness, but the sun entering Leo at the same time is going to like bring it down just a little bit, maybe not totally, because she's still really powerful.
Okay.
But it's definitely, and there's just things like that coming up, so we keep hovering on the edge.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that topic is terribly interesting. And to kind of circling back, the reason that I found you, Abby, Sumerian Astrology channel on YouTube, was because you did a thumbnail. It was like warning to the USA. That was the video.
It was a scary solar return. Like last year, and solar return, so like technically still the beginning of this year. So you guys, if you don't know, watching, your solar return is from your birthday to birthday, and for America, that's July 4th. So technically, that ran us right up until the beginning of July. And some pretty interesting stuff happened, if you recall, right around the beginning of July in the United States. So it was a scary solar return. That's very encouraging, Friar. Maybe I will make another one of those things.
I think you should.
Summertime, and I just haven't felt like doing anything.
But now, as
maybe
it
I
cools
will.
off,
Yes. So I'll have to make another scary video. I'm sure it will be kind of scary, just based on everything that's going on. But anytime you do like a prediction for a country, it's so general because there are so many people you couldn't see, and I don't care what anybody says. Nobody saw somebody trying to not through astrology. Nobody looked at the date of Trump's assassination. Nobody predicted that in advance just with astrology. They're all full of it. Guys, if you hear people predicting stuff by the date, they never tell you until after the date. And they're like, oh,
Astro,
yeah,
I will say this. Astro Victor did in fact post a video before it happened, and he came damn close.
When was the day? He said
It was like 3 days beforehand.
somebody's gonna try to assassinate Trump.
Yeah. He
Did they
basically
look at his chart? Okay, but hold on. If it's 3 days before, so here's the other thing. All right. That's fine. But some of this too, like how much information do you have? Because anybody with any sense over the last couple of years could have said they're going to try to assassinate Trump at some point.
But
Like, come on.
But he said he would be wounded in the head or beheaded because of
I'll have to see it. Who said this?
Astro Victor.
I don't buy it. Show me. Send me the video. I'll take a look at it. I'm skeptical. I'm so skeptical, you guys.
Be skeptical. I'm just saying.
People are like, my house is haunted. Come to a paranormal investigation. I'm like, yeah, is your cat like stealing your stuff? It's knocking your things over. Like, I'm the skeptical one.
Me being me and continuing the conversation like I do. I was bringing that one up because we've had this conversation before, and I was like, damn it, if something happens, and I'm gonna find a video of someone predicting it beforehand, because you and I have had this conversation before. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up and say, like, yeah, well, it turns out Astro Victor did do a video beforehand, and it was rather specific. So
statistically, yes. Again, there are 8 billion people on the planet. I don't know what percentage of those are astrologers. Sure, like luck of the draw at some point, but people can't do that stuff with any regularity. It's not something that they can replicate. Okay. You have like one-offs. And again, I want to know how he would have come up with that, because there's no assassination planet. There's no, like that's not what it is. So maybe it was intuition. There are people who predicted that would happen like months in advance, but they were, it was like a vision or something they had. So I want to see, like, astrologically, were you getting it, or was this like, are you? It was astrological. Okay, well, send me the video. Okay. Send it to me. I will definitely watch it. And I will, if I'm wrong, I will apologize to this person, because, I will. I'm being
adversarial for the sake of continuing.
You're not being adversarial at all.
You know me. I'm just mean as hell.
You're definitely not being adversarial. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, that was, I did in fact go looking. I was like, Abby's gonna want to see this.
Yeah, I will. I do. But I say that all the time. Like, people are like, oh, so-and-so predicted like all these dates that blah, 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 whatever happened. Send me it. I want to see it. Nobody, not a single solitary person in my entire career has ever been able to send me back to the astrologer that they got this like super amazing predictive reading from, where they predicted all of the dates, which they predict retrospectively, by the way.
Right.
Most of the time.
This was published beforehand. So yeah.
I believe you. I totally do. I just want to know how he did it, because I suspect if he, first of all, again, it's not a weird thing to predict. I've been telling everybody for like the last year, like, they're going to try taking him out. They're going to try saying, like everybody.
Yeah. I don't even think they're done. I think it's still
for sure
on the table.
100%. No doubt about it. So like, it wouldn't be a hard thing to predict. Like, am I going to ride my bike again this summer? Probably. If I have to look at the chart, take a shot in the dark, like at which day, I mean, I could probably get pretty close to, but I don't know. We'll see. Send me the video. I'll look at it.
I will do that.
I got to go eat. I'm starving. I got another call after this. So,
okay.
All right, let's do it. Let's wrap it up.
Thank you for everybody who showed up today, who's in the chat, and it was lovely. We'll do it again.
Yeah, for real was. Thank you guys, because I didn't expect anybody to even show up. So
we got folks. I did put a thing on my Instagram. I don't know if you have Instagram. You don't have Instagram.
I don't have Instagram.
But yeah, I put a thing on my Instagram saying, hey, I'm going to be over there. Check it out.
Oh, okay. Is your Instagram information do you want it in the video description?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, you got to send it to me.
It's just like Friar Pesel. Friar_Pesel, I think is it.
Okay.
That's the thing. So
we'll confirm that and then send it to me, and I will pop it in there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, everybody have fun. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, same time.
Yes, thank you. Bye now.
All right.